We wanted to discuss some more Anthony Fauci fun.
Rand Paul and him. We just need to get the actual boxing.
Can we do MMA?
MMA cage, and like stick him in there and see what happens.
Oh my gosh.
Joe Rogan commentates.
That'd be awesome.
Or he just jumps in for a little added fun. Man, I'll tell you what, Fauci, this guy is a straight up liar.
Yeah.
And he's the highest paid public official in the country. And what's interesting is has said multiple times, questioning science questioning me is questioning science. In essence, I am science. It's like you're our employee, you're government official. You're paid by us. You work for us. We don't work for you.
Right.
But yeah, so we've got this clip here. Go ahead. Did you have something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So this is Rand Paul questioning Fauci a little bit more about COVID.
Do you think it's a great success what's happened so far? Do you think the lockdowns were good for our kids? Do you think we slowed down the death rate? More people have died now under President Biden than did under President Trump. You are the one responsible. You are the architect. You are the lead architect for the response from the government. And now 800,000 people have died.
Right.
So you think it's a winning success, what you've advocated for government?
Senator, first of all, if you look at everything that I said, you accuse me of in a monolithic way telling people what they need to do. Everything that I've said has been in support of the CDC guidelines. Wear a mask, get boosted.
And you've advocated to make it coercive
take
done
a look
through
at
force,
everything
and you've
that I've
advocated that
said.
it be done by mandate.
Right.
You've advocated that your infallible opinion be dictated by law.
Right.
Infallible Fauci. Oh my
This
word.
guy will not take responsibility for anything. Earlier, I believe in this same back and forth, Fauci was using the 800,000, 900,000 deaths, as kind of like support for more COVID kind of implementation thing. Then Paul kind of turns it around on him and says, well, all these people have died under your watch. Like you're the one who's been giving the advice and everything for everybody that's caused this 900,000 deaths. And then Fauci's like, oh, well, that was the CDC.
Exactly.
Come on, that wasn't me. I was just telling you what they were saying.
Yeah. And yet you're the one forcing mandates. You're the one doing all this stuff. One of the things I love about Rand Paul is he labels it correctly. The talking over each other, whatever, people can say he's disrespectful. I just think he's trying to say you're lying. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. He labels him correctly. He is the architect. He was the architect under Trump, and he's the architect under Biden. Yeah. There is no other man responsible for what is going on in this country, because it's been through two administrations that he has been the one making the policies, the mandates, the stuff. And so he can push off on whoever he wants to push off on. But what is true is Trump believed him and didn't fire him. Biden believes him, didn't fire him.
And so everything that they've tried to do in the last year, mandates, pushing this experimental drug on everybody, lockdowns, masks, double mask, triple mask, whatever. More people have died since the vaccines came out than died before they came out. And yet Fauci's continuing to be the one recommending everything.
Yeah.
At what point does he get held accountable? And I love that Rand Paul is doing everything he can to hold him accountable.
Yeah. And this is buried in, they're talking more about him saying under his breath that Rand Paul was a moron than they're talking about this statement that we just played. And that's why I think that we have to pull the truth out of this stuff. He is the architect. Fauci is the architect of what's going on in America. And if we can acknowledge that, then we can say, well, maybe we need a new architectural firm.
Yeah, I like what you said about him being the architect in America, but there's been some new reporting. This kind of flows right into the next thing with the Project Veritas release. He might be the architect of everything that's going on in the world. As far as COVID goes.
It's easy to be an architect of the response when you were the architect of the cause of the problem.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody, if you haven't heard about the gain of function, we can always do another show where we go back and kind of detail all that. But essentially, Correct me if I'm telling this wrong, but gain of function is where you're taking something like a virus and you're increasing its function, essentially. So you're making a virus that's not transmissible to humans, transmissible to humans. And that is, the virus is gaining a function that it didn't have or wouldn't have had naturally.
In the natural, yeah.
So gain of function research is something that has been highly reported on. It's been controversial, blah, blah, blah. And go back and look at like Glenn Beck's special that he did kind of detailing all this. And gain of function was something that the U.S. government said, we're not going to fund this. It's dangerous. We're not going to do it. And by all accounts, Fauci has still funded gain of function research at that Wuhan lab in China.
He has, and it's proven in the documents that he has. And I think that, the government has always tried to be out ahead of things. Of course, they were using bioweapons, and that's the whole part of the research. But little did they know that our tax dollars were going to be spent on something that was created that would inflict and kill over 800,000 Americans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how many globally? Who knows?
Right. So this just came out. Oh, Nate, was this end of last week, Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you haven't heard, like Project Veritas, I'm just going to kind of read from this article here. They've obtained a separate report to the Inspector General of the Department of Defense written by U.S. Marine Corps Major Joseph Murray, a former DARPA fellow. Now, DARPA is Defense Against Research Projects Agency. It's an agency under the U.S. Department of Defense in charge of facilitating research and technology with potential military applications. The report states that EcoHealth Alliance approached DARPA in March 2018, seeking funding to conduct gain-of-function research of bat-borne coronaviruses. The proposal, named Project Diffuse, was rejected by DARPA over safety concerns and the notion that it violates the basis gain-of-function research moratorium. According to the documents, NIAID, under the direction of Dr. Fauci, went ahead with the research in Wuhan, China, and at several sites across the United States. Quote, the proposal, this is straight from the document, and Project Veritas gave the links to the documents. I went and looked it up, screenshot, probably on the screen right now. The proposal does not mention or assess potential risks of gain-of-function research. That's a direct quote from the rejection letter. The proposal does not mention or assess the risks of gain-of-function research, meaning the proposal was asking for gain-of-function,
right?
But it didn't address the risks,
right? And so they refused it,
right?
And Fauci goes behind everyone's back, the public's back. I mean, it's public dollars.
It's our money.
How many billions have been spent through Fauci's NIAID and other organizations that he's distributing the money for? Has now they said, oh well. The government defense agencies for the United States said, we don't want to do it because there's too high of a risk of this thing going wild. And Fauci says, yeah, I don't care what you guys want. I'm going to go do it.
Yep.
That to me is an indictment on the architect.
Yep. And he has been, I don't know how many times now on under oath in Congress saying, I've never funded gain-of-function research. Rand Paul has hammered him multiple times about this, and he's lied about it over and over.
My question is, when are the people, so we see this on TV all the time. We see people go in front of Congress and lie, proven in documents, even while they're talking, where we can look through the documents and say, no, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. Mm-hmm. And yet no one is held accountable. No one is held accountable.
Yeah.
It just, you've got laptops floating around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, and this is just a little speculation, but how much corruption is in Congress? You know what I mean? Is it 100%? Is it every single person in Congress?
I don't know.
Is that why certain things get no push from anybody?
So a man comes out with a laptop from Hunter Biden, and we see pictures off of it. We know it's true. The laptop disappears.
Yep.
Man disappears. No one's held accountable for any of that. You got servers in the bathroom of the Clinton's house, where they're supposed to, everything. If you're an elected official, all your emails have to go through the same server. Everything is protected. And then you're doing this in the bathroom of your house. You got your own server sending your own emails to Chinese diplomats and all this stuff. And no one is held accountable. And then, as Glenn Beck said yesterday on his show, he is betting that Hillary is going to be the Democrats' number one candidate for 2024. She's not been held accountable for what she's done breaking the law in the 40 years she's been in elected office, or at least hanging on to her husband's coattails. Mm-hmm. How in the world can that happen in the United States? We have a Congress, we have judges, we have, like, is it all corrupt? That's my question. Is it all corrupt?